Welcome to part 2 of how to create a liquid solution for your taper. This presentation contains the live demo. And now for the disclaimers. I am not a medical professional. The contents, information, and opinions provided in this presentation are for educational and informative purposes only, and has been developed by a layperson in the benzodiazepine tapering and withdrawal peer support community. As such, this is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor should it be taken as advice that you should taper off your medication. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or starting or stopping a medication taper. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of the contents in this presentation. It can be very risky to reduce or stop any psychiatric drug, and it can be especially dangerous and potentially life-threatening when done rapidly or cold turkey. Any reductions to psychiatric drug dosages should involve careful preparation and is best made in collaboration with a prescriber who is well informed about a wide range of risk-minimizing approaches to psychiatric drug tapering. Hi, and welcome to the video demonstration of how to make your medication into a liquid, also known as an oral suspension. What you are going to need are beakers for measuring, a container to store your liquid, propylene glycol, water. You're also going to need syringes for dosing. This is a 10 ml, a 5 ml, a 3 ml, and a 1 ml syringe, and you'll also need your medication. I purchased the syringes and the beaker and the propylene glycol off of Amazon. You can also find propylene glycol in the cosmetic or pharmacy department of your grocery store or even in your pharmacy. Next, we're going to make the oral suspension or the liquid. I'm moving forward on the assumption that you already have your recipe prepared based on the presentation I gave previously. So today we're going to actually make my liquid, and this is my taper journal, and I keep the recipe in the front of my taper journal, and my recipe says that I need 10 milligrams of Klonopin, 20 milliliters of propylene glycol, and 80 ml of water. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count out 10 milligrams of Klonopin. My doctor is very nice and has prescribed me 1 milligram pills, so it makes it very easy. I count them out. I'm going to count them again just to make sure. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. I count them as I put them into my mason jar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, I'm going to measure out 20 ml of propylene glycol. What I'm going to do is measure the propylene glycol to the measurement line and look for where the bottom of the liquid, called the meniscus, is even at the measurement line. If you go over, it's no big deal. We have handy dandy syringes to make sure that we are accurate. And the best way to check for accuracy is to get down even and look at the line to make sure that you have exactly what you need. Next, I'm going to measure out 80 ml of water. Again, if I go over, no big deal. I have syringes to pull out the extra. The next step is to mix it all together. I pour my propylene glycol into the jar with the medication. I then pour the water in. And I cap it. This solution will be ready in approximately 5 minutes, so I can make it in the morning or I can make it whenever I need it. I can hurry up the process by agitating the liquid. This solution is shelf stable. You can keep it in the fridge or you can keep it on the counter. You can keep it in your cupboard. Just make sure it's kept out of reach of children. Continue agitating. You can see that the propylene glycol has started to dissolve the tablets, and it's blue because my medication is blue. I've just made 10 days of liquid medication. Next, I'm going to measure out my medication for the day. I usually do it once a day. I can prepare as many doses ahead of time as I need. I use the mason jar method because it's simple, it's easy. It also helps me visually see if I've taken my medication for that time period. So I'm going to measure out my dose. I'm currently using 2.8 ml for each evenly throughout the day. So I'll measure out my morning, mid-afternoon, and evening dose. I write down on the lid morning, mid, and PM dose. Again, it's a nice visual to see, did I take my medication or did I not? So here's the solution we just made. Shake it up, make sure everything is thoroughly mixed, and I'm going to measure out 2.8 ml into each of my jars. One way to make sure that you keep the syringe, one nice trick is to put a piece of tape over the numbers. This helps keep the reuse of the syringes. You can use them more than once, because you definitely want to, because you use them a lot. So what I'm going to do, all I gotta do is measure out, make sure it's nice at 2.8. I'm using a 3 ml syringe, so that's nice. Each line is 2.8, goes into my jar. I measure out 2.8 for the afternoon. Goes in my jar. Measure out 2.8 for the evening. Goes in my jar. Now, you don't need to do this, but this is just something I like to do. It's a nice little treat. I like these little energy drinks. Little flavor shots. So I squirt a little bit of flavor into each one. I then fill up each one with water. The other nice thing I like about the mason jar method is that by making sure I consume enough liquid, I'm getting enough hydration. I found that that really helps with brain zaps. The more I'm hydrated, the less my zaps are. So then I just cap it for the day. There's my morning dose prepared, mid-afternoon dose prepared, and my PM dose. I'm ready for the day. So one thing I do, and I forgot to show you this because I'm nervous, is rinse out your syringe. I just take a little bit of water into a glass, take my syringe, fill it up with water, rinse it out, put it into one of my dosing jars, make sure I get all that medication, and I'm done. That's it. Simple, easy. Takes me less than 2 minutes a day. Another way to do this, if you don't like the mason jar method, is to simply measure out each dose into a glass. What you need, fill it up with water, any other liquid. You could put it in your coffee, you could put it in your tea, you can put it in your juice, doesn't matter. The theory and the application is the same. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this presentation helpful. If you have any questions or you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to contact us. And if you would like to check out the meetup group support groups, we'd love to see you. I hope to meet you soon.